Um, I just did not know that. But here I am today, the president of Speech Weavers Club, just in the matter of 2 and to be precise, 6 months. From a Toastmaster to the president of a club. My odyssey has been really great. So I request each one of you to take risks, grab the opportunity, as Bill Gates said. When it knocks on your door, grab the opportunity and move ahead. So how many of you are going to take this as a model of the story and grabbing the opportunity and coming out of the comfort zone? Just, you can put on an emoji. That's really great to see, because that was the main purpose. Now, to carry forward this stupendous meeting of speech weavers is the founder of Finances and the director of Deep Pockets Technologies Private Limited. He's a passionate financial planner, advisor, and a speech weaver. He has played the vice president membership. He has also been the vice president education for the past 2 years. Let's welcome on stage the enigmatic, enchanting, and enthusiastic Toastmaster Adarsh Krishna. Can you all unmute and give a big round of applause to Toastmaster Adarsh Krishna? Toastmaster Adarsh Krishna, the virtual stage is all yours, and now I hand over the baton to you.
Thank you very much.
Can we have a round of applause, everyone?
Thank you very much for that, Toastmaster Nazanin. It's an incredible evening to be a part of this amazing meeting that we have in store for all of you. And as the event chair in today's meeting, it is my responsibility to see to it this meeting runs to perfection. And trust me, this format is a little bit new to me as well, so it's quite challenging. But I'm pretty confident that in the presence of all the incredible speakers and guests and our esteemed keynote speaker in the room, I'm going to feel as comfortable as at any other time, be it at home or anywhere. I'd like to thank all of you for joining us for this amazing meeting at the Speech Weavers Toastmasters Club. We have run quite a lot of meetings, and it is an amazing opportunity for us to take this further and beyond. To get started with in today's meeting, I would like to introduce you to the elephant in the room, the most important person in today's meeting. Of course, he's someone that does not need any introduction whatsoever. His name is something that is echoed through the Toastmasters world for a few years now. And in today's meeting, in the presence of as many people as, let me see, around 26 people in the room, including myself, I would like you to keep one thing in mind, and that is our speaker for today is Toastmaster Mas Mahathir. Thank you very much for joining us in today's meeting. He is someone that's a Toastmaster and has been a Toastmaster since the year 2016. He's a second runner-up. He's a second runner-up in the World Championship of Public Speaking, the grand stage where the biggest speakers, the best of speakers have the opportunity of presenting speeches. And he was the second runner-up in the year 2022. He's also a 9-time, that's right, a 9-time district contest champion. He's also the co-founder of MicFront Public Speaking, an academy in Malaysia where his mission is to develop the future generations to be confident public speakers and leaders of tomorrow. Outside of his profession, he's a very, very fun guy. He's a very fun guy. That's how he likes to describe himself. Without any further ado, I'd like to welcome our speaker for today, Toastmaster Mas Mahathir. A round of applause to Toastmaster Mas Mahathir. And today's session will actually be centered around a Q&A. But before that, I'd like to hear from our speaker on where he is from. Of course, it's always good to hear from the horse's mouth, right? Over to you.
Thank you very much to our event chair for today, Adarsh Krishna. And hello, everyone from Speaker Weaver, right? As well as different parts of India, Malaysia, and different parts of the world. It's such an honor to be here, to be invited to share something that I'm truly, truly passionate about. And I hope that by the end of today's session, we'll walk away with some golden nuggets that may help you to improve not only in the ability to speak, but in the ability to change lives through the choice of words and the way that we deliver. Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to this session. Back to you, Adarsh.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Mas Mahathir. It is an amazing, amazing moment to have you at our club. We have never had you on before, and I'm pretty confident that you're going to leave quite an impact. So a round of applause to our speaker as we start today's session. And today's session is going to be purely centered around question and answers. We have a ton of questions, and we're not just going to have ordinary people asking questions, but instead we have two special Toastmasters who are going to be posing questions in today's meeting. And the first person that will be posing questions in today's meeting comes with a very, very extensive resume. And I happened to run through his resume myself yesterday, and I was quite startled. I had to sort of sit down in front of my laptop, and I had to condense the intro to whatever extent I could, and I still failed big time. Our first Q&A moderator or speaker will be distinguished Toastmaster Annadatta V. Murli Manohar. Annadatta V. Murli Manohar is the president of the famous Smedley Chapter 1 Club, the first club that was chartered in the Toastmasters world by our founder, Ralph C. Smedley. He's also an area director with Founders District USA, Region 2, member in District 20, Bahrain and Kuwait, and District 127, Dubai, Sharjah, United Arab Emirates. He has completed the Distinguished Toastmaster program in the traditional module, the bigger one. And he's also someone who has finished 4 pathways, 4 DTMs in pathways education. That's right, 4 DTMs. That's the number of times he has done that. And now he's working towards another DTM. Toastmasters has become a very, very important part of his daily life. Professionally, he's a life insurance, medical insurance, and real estate consultant in Hyderabad. And he has a business interest across the world. He has also chartered a few clubs. He's a certified coach, a mentor, a corporate trainer, and has extended a lot of support to various clubs across the world. He's a leader, he's an achiever, he's aggressive, loving, affectionate, independent, and loves Toastmasters, most importantly. He was the President Distinguished Division Director in 2019-20, an area director, club extension chair, and has been the chief judge for over 50 contests. That's right, over 50 contests. Without any further ado, I would like to call on Distinguished Toastmaster Annadatta V. Murli Manohar to pose his first question to our keynote speaker, Toastmaster Mas
Mahathir. Great. Welcome, Mas Mahathir. And first of all, before I do this, I would like to place my gratitude. Thanks to none other than Distinguished Toastmaster Joseph Felix, who brought me all the way from Bengaluru to this event, and my colleague in Founder District Toastmaster Nanzin. Mas, I wanted to ask you, how good or how different it has been for you from the old type of education and present pathways?
So you're trying to say the difference between the traditional legacy program and the current program? Well, that's a great question. Thank you so much for asking that. A quick show of hands, maybe anyone from this room. How many of the people in this room right now have done or tried a little bit of the legacy program? Let me see. Legacy program. Oh, okay. So I'm guessing the rest of us are in the Pathways program. Now, I had the opportunity since I started Toastmasters in 2016. So I had the opportunity to put my foot and to dabble around with the legacy program before trying the Pathways program. And this is just my personal opinion. I love the legacy program. Not to say that I don't like the Pathways. Pathways is great in their own ways, but I love how the legacy program gives us an opportunity to try and test almost every, whereas the pathway is very specific. right? So when I did the legacy program, I knew how I could further improve. What can I do? How can I structure my presentation in a way that is clear to the objective? And I love that. And one other pros about the Pathways program is that although it is very specific, right? You follow whether it is innovative planning, effective coaching, you go through that path. It is very hyper-specific in that particular area. And what I didn't like about this, on the other hand, is that when you move to the next pathways, you have to do an icebreaker again. That was one thing that really caught me off guard. But that aside, both of these programs do have their strengths. And I believe it is important for us to adopt the newer modules, the newer ways, because I believe there's so much learning that I myself have not explored fully that may interest me as well. So yeah, that is just my thoughts about the two programs.
Thank you, Mas. And I leave it back to our moderator, event chair, Toastmaster Adarsh. You want me to continue or?
Thank you very much for that, DTM Anadatta. Now it's time for me to go to the next speaker. He has a very, very interesting set of questions, I'm sure. And he's again someone that does not need any real introduction whatsoever. He is none other than distinguished Toastmaster Manoharan Veera Perumal. He's a distinguished Toastmaster himself. He's a part of a club called the Mahakavi Tamil Toastmasters Club, IPP, and Vice President of Education at Andu Tamil Toastmasters Club, which is a bilingual club. He's also a charter president of a club called the Shah Alam Toastmasters Club in 1997. He's a member of the Chartered Institute of Marketing in the United Kingdom, an entrepreneur, an investor, conducts yoga and meditation classes and programs, NLP practitioner. Well, you name it, he has done it all. I would like to welcome distinguished Toastmaster Manoharan Veera Perumal to pose his set of questions to our speaker, Toastmaster Mas.
Hi, Mas Mahathir.
Hi,
Nice meeting
Veera.
you. Both your parents, Diana and Mathir, are my mentors in Toastmasters, and they are the one that brought me to Toastmasters, and they were inspiration way back in 1997 when I started the club in Shah Alam. Wow,
Wonderful.
and I see you inherited the best of both genes from your mom and dad. So the question to you, Mas Mathir, is what are your suggestions for aspiring Toastmasters like us to become a world champion like you?
Well, thank you so much, Veera. And it's so nice to see a fellow Malaysian as well, yeah? Now, the question is, what could aspiring Toastmasters do to reach the world level? First things first, maybe I'll share a little bit of background of how I got started in this. I started Toastmasters in 2016 officially because I wanted to be a better trainer. I was in a corporate training workplace, so I needed to know how to speak and influence and train people. So my boss at that time told me, you must join Toastmasters. And when I joined Toastmasters, there was something called contests. I didn't know about it. I've heard about it, but I didn't know much about it. So when I saw that contest was a thing, I knew I had to. And the only 3 people that I wanted to beat in the club level. And these 3 people are my mom, my dad, my sister. Yeah, they were all in the same club as me. So I wanted to beat them in the contest. So I said, you know what, game on. So when I joined the first contest, I lost. And I lost because I had the mindset of chasing after the trophy, chasing after the win. And throughout a few more years later, and contest again, and I lost, and I contest and lost again, I started to realize that there is a certain formula or a certain mindset that we need to have if we intend to go this round. Instead of looking at the trophy, look at your personal growth. Number one, how can you grow year after year? If last year you were doing bad on your voice, this year, how are you going to improve that? If the year before that, you're not so good in body language, what can you do to improve that? Because if we're so fixated at the trophy itself and only the trophy, then we are not finding ways to improve ourselves. And we may even end up blaming other people and the judges. Why did they not vote for me as the winner? So that's number one, the mindset of growth. Number two, this to me is very important. You need to have the belief that you outwork all your competitors. This is a strong one. If you walk into the contest scene, having just prepared your speech 1 day before, 1 hour before, 1 week before, chances are you are not going to go far in the contest. Great speakers and great contestants have prepared their speeches months in advance, years in advance, and that will put them at an advantage where they know when they walk into the contest, they have outworked all the other contestants. So, number one, make sure you focus on growth. Number two, work hard and outwork your competitors. With this two, I'm sure you'll start to see that you're going up the ranks faster. I hope that answers your question, Vera.
Thank you, Mas. Definitely did. And next time I'll contest against you. Yay! Over to you, Adarsh.
Thank you very much for that, distinguished Toastmaster Pira. And that was a very, very good answer, because it is very important that we keep ourselves motivated and we have to put in the relevant effort to see to it that we continue doing that. Thank you very much for that. I would like to go back to our first speaker again, distinguished Toastmaster Anadatta, to pose its next question to the speaker.
Great. Now that you have given us an icebreaker about the contest, Mas, I wanted to ask you a simple question. How many days or weeks or months or years you took for the 2022 WCPS?
Wow, that's a very good question. Okay, I've been contesting every year, yeah, and every year you have to come up with new speeches and all that. It's not easy, yeah. So if we look back at just the 2022 contest, the semi-final speech that I used was actually created in 2020. Yeah, so the semi-finals was in 2020, but it was developed over the years, just like how wine, right? Wine tastes great if it ages. So that happens to the speech as well. So after a while, I finally used it in 2022. I saw a big improvement, and that's why I decided to use that. The speech that I used for the finals, I would agree that it's not my best. In fact, I wish I could have used my semi-finals in my finals, but the final speech was also drafted in 2020. Yeah, it was drafted in 2020, but I used that in my 2021 contest. And that 2021 contest did not bring me past the semi-finals, which means I won the district, but I didn't go into the semi-finals. So I used that to further enhance and polish the speech again to use it in the finals for 2022. So in a nutshell, the speeches that I have created takes about at least a year before I feel confident enough to use it in the early rounds. Even in the club contest, the speech would have gone through at least a few months. I hope that answers your question.
I will come to my next question when my turn comes.
Sure, sounds good. Let's go to our distinguished Toastmaster Veera Manohar again, because he seems to have another question up his sleeve. Distinguished Toastmaster Veera, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Adarsh. Mas Mahathir, you are definitely one of the speakers that many Toastmasters admire. I would like to ask you, who are the speakers or leaders you admire, and what are the traits they have? Please share with us.
Wow, thank you very much for that question. Very deep. There are a few speakers that I really admire. Let's list them down one by one. Starting with someone I believe all of us here would know, Obama. Now, the reason why I love Obama as a speaker is because he is one speaker who demonstrates one quality that I aspire to also master, and that quality is authenticity. Speakers who are authentic is able to connect with the audience emotionally, and that is something that I'm still struggling and I'm still learning how to do that. If you can see all his presidential videos and speeches, you will see that the way that he speaks, you can feel that it comes from a place of kindness and from a place of heart, rather than a place of head, where it's just logical and, without any sense of wanting to connect. So Obama has that authenticity. The other person that I like, and this is an author of a book called Storyworthy, is Matthew Dix. Matthew Dix is a Moth Story Slam champion multiple times. And if you check up on YouTube, you search Matthew Dix, you will see many of his TED Talks. And if you watch his stories, it's very, very interesting because Matthew Dix, he is someone who is willing to express his feelings and willing to express his moments. Now, this is where most people stand to struggle, including myself. Matthew Dix is willing to even share darkest moments in his life where he feels humiliated, shamed, disgusted with himself, things like that. And the reason why I'm so drawn to that is because people who do that shows vulnerability. And as an audience, you don't want to see a speaker who is all high and mighty and the hero all the time, right? Even in great superhero movies, you will see moments where the hero breaks down. And that's something that I am also aspiring to learn as well, to show vulnerability. So these two speakers are the two that I can come up with right now. Obama on authenticity, Matthew Dix on vulnerability. Thank you.
Thank you. Very nice. Nicely put. Thank you, Mathir. Oh, back to you, Adash.
Round of applause to our question and answer moderators. Those were some very good questions. Obviously, now I'm going to give the floor to the audience to pose their questions because I see some incredible people in the room. The area director is amongst us, the area director of Area B1. I'd like to acknowledge the presence of Toastmaster Palugwa Kannan. Nice to see you. And as for the others, I'd like you to probably unmute yourself, or in case if you'd like to go to the chat and put up a question, you can do that as well.
Maybe you can request them to show their hands and then you can take it up one by one.
That can also be done. Yes, you can always raise your hands just like this. You can raise both your hands, one of your hands. It's up to you.
Yes,
okay, I have a question. Oh no, I think I saw Toastmaster Nasmeen, our president.
Yes. Palka, you definitely speak. You can pose a question. Unmute yourself and you can ask a question because we've got the champions in our house today.
If I'm not mistaken, I saw Nadian was raising his hands just now.
Okay.
Paduka as well, yeah.
Right. Sorry, I just had a little bit of an internet glitch at my end, but I hope I'm audible and visible right now. So my question is, DTM Mas, it's very easy when someone sees your success, people will see that laurels, whatever you get. But you'd have gone through a lot of failures, like even till the final stage or something. So how do you deal with it? Because to be very honest, when I joined Toastmasters first, I want to go through that contest. I have given a lot of try as well. Excuse me. Can everybody go on mute, please? All right. So like went through the club level, area level, division level, but then you end up losing a bit. You need a lot of motivation. So what keeps you motivated? I do understand to make it better, but I want to hear it from you. What keeps you motivated? What is that strong motivation?
Wow, that's a really, really good question. What keeps you motivated? Now, I would like to throw this question to all of the audience as well before I share mine. Could you just type in the chat, what keeps you motivated, whether it is contesting or whether it is giving a speech? Let's take a few seconds for this. Can you just type in the chat? What keeps you motivated? Overcoming my challenges and watching myself grow. Wow, nice. All right, let's see a few more, maybe one more. To deliver a fearless speech. Wonderful. Now, when I go through the contest for many rounds, I think that you will come to a time where you will feel the utmost stress. The stress to compete. Partially because, number one, people have expectations of you as a speaker, especially since you have been the club champion, the area champion, the division champion. And now if you're in the district level, people in the division are behind your back right now and they're rooting for you and you feel like, oh my gosh, if I don't do well, I'm going to put them down. So you feel the stress, right? So that is one of the reasons why we may feel stressed. The second reason that we may feel stressed is also because we put pressure on ourselves. We feel that if we look bad on stage, that's on us. You know, that's our mistake. So we tend to do this thing that really affects us. So when it comes to motivation and what motivates me, there are effects. One of it is, what do I mean by my message? When I craft my speech, I know that I have a deep burning message that I want the world to hear. And this is apparent because when I was in Nashville competing in the World Finals, I walked out of the room, right? After my speech, they haven't announced the winners yet. I walked out of the room and a few people who were going to the toilet, they stopped me and said, Mahathir, I just wanted to say something. I loved your message. It really touched me and I know what I must do today. Wow. When you hear someone saying something like that, you know that it is no longer about the motivation to win, it's the motivation to inspire, to influence. So if you have a speech that you know you have a message that could potentially change lives, to influence people, that should be your primary motivation when you compete. Don't think about how you look. Don't think about how you would sound. Don't think about the trophy and winning. Think about how you could use that to inspire other people. I hope that answers your question, Paduka.
Thank you so much. I understood as a forum to put out your message to this. Right. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Miss Redactor, and wonderful response to the question. And our next person that happens to have a question is Toastmaster Umar Farouk. I'm going to give him a Toastmaster Umar is someone that all of us know pretty well at Speech Weavers. He is a table topic king, as we call him. Toastmaster Umar, over to you.
Thank you, Adarsh. First of all, wonderful workshop, Mas Mahathir, wonderful and great nuggets of wisdom from you. I just wanted to ask two questions, small ones, like what are the key components of an effective storytelling? Just briefly go through it. And secondly, it is said that you have to begin with the end in mind. Write your conclusion first and work your way backwards. So it will help you filter your thoughts or the story and all. So what are your thoughts on this kind of strategy for writing a speech? Over to you, Mas.
Thank you so much, Umar. So the two questions, number one, what are some of the elements that make an effective storytelling speech? And the second one is, do we begin with the end in mind, right? And whether this is a good strategy. Okay, maybe I will start with number two first because it will link into number one. Do I believe that we need to have an end in mind? Absolutely. The end in mind here means two things. Number one, the message, the realization, the key takeaways that you have that changed you as a person. That one, you must know it first. This is where you come to number two. After knowing what you are currently, Matthew Dix in his book Storyworthy, he says that once you have this is what we call as a 5-second moment, where it changes your mindset, your belief, etc. Then work backwards. Who you were before that led you to become who you are now. It is easier to craft a speech in that manner rather than crafting it from the start and then you might not know where it's going to go, right? And it might muddle your speech. So who you are now, then work backwards. Then you will be able to find the point A and point B. Which leads me to question number one, which is what are some of the key things that makes an effective storytelling? So now that we know that we have the clear transformation between the two, one or a few other ways that you can spice up your storytelling is this. Number one, start your stories or start your scenes with scenery. This is by far one of the greatest things that I've learned so far because it sets up something in the audience's mind. So let me repeat that, yeah? Start the scene with scenery. So what does this mean? It means that you need to tell the audience in what time frame is this happening, where is it happening? Give them an idea. For example, maybe you could say something like this. If you talk about New Year's this year, right? You can say years today, it was fun. That's normal, right? But if you want to add the scenery, you could say something like this. It's the 31st of December, right at 11:59 p.m. I was standing in front of the fireworks that's about to take off. You see the difference? When you have the scenery, it suddenly makes things. So yeah, is add in dialogue. These are a great way to put your audience into your world, into your story. For example, if someone says something like this, Jane asked me if I was married. I said no. Okay, that's just very bland, very normal. It's just narrating the scenes. But if I were to take it up a level, it would sound like this. Jane asked, Mahathir, are you married? I looked and I was having a confused moment in my mind because I knew I'm married. And so I told her with a heavy heart, I'm married. Things like that will now add a little bit more extra pizzazz in your story. So don't narrate, add dialogues and conversations. I hope that answers the question, Umar.
Yes, thanks, Mas Mahathir. Thanks.
Thank you for that, Toastmaster Umar. Thank you for that amazing question. I see an overwhelming number of hand raises, and I have kept all the names in my mind. Toastmaster Jayati, Toastmaster Joseph, I have all your names in mind. So I'd like to call on our immediate past president, Toastmaster Joseph, to pose this question to our speaker. Over to you. Joseph, sir, you have to unmute yourself. Joseph, sir, please unmute yourself. We're not able to hear you.
My question to Mas is, if I am telling my own story, do you think that your recommendation of practicing it more and more? Because in one of the contests in Malaysia, I just was reminded that tomorrow is my speech. I wrote a script in the night. At 6 o'clock, I delivered and I won the contest. How do you recommend that?
Okay, maybe Joseph, could you repeat the question again? What is the main question that you're asking for?
If I want to tell my own story, do you want me to go on writing and practicing and speaking before them?
Understood. Thank you so much, Joseph. Now, this is a good question. Why? Because a lot of people might be thinking that if I want to write a story, if I want to tell a story, why must I write it down? Because it's personal to me. I know it. I can just tell it, right? This works both ways. Because you are competing in a contest, we want to make sure that we write the speech down. And why? Because how I write my speeches is I want to make sure that every line in my speech, the impact is delivered the same way again and again and again, whether it is any other rounds, whether it's in the area, the club, the division, it will be the same. Of course, I would improve on it, but I want it to be consistent. Because imagine, you may tell a story today, the next time you tell it, I'm very sure we will not be 100% the same as the first time we told it. The main essence is there, but the structure could be a little bit different. So in a context where you're just sharing in a dinner table, then it's totally fine. I don't think it's important to write down and rehearse it. But of course, having a story bank to list down your stories is a great way to do that. But if you are contesting, then yes, it is very important to write it down. Look at it. See how you can improve in the way that you say it so that the impact lasts longer as compared to just verbalizing through our minds. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I wrote on the night of the this one day before, and then I delivered it on 6 o'clock in the morning. Thank you so much.
Wonderful.
Thank you very much, Joseph. Toastmaster Joseph, that was an incredible question. Again, I see so many hand raises. I'm finding it very overwhelming right now as your event chat for this evening, but I do have all your names in mind and I will come back to you. I would like to call on Toastmaster Jayati to pose her question.
Hi, hi Adarsh, hi Naz, hello Joseph sir, hi Paduka, hi Maz. I'm so
Hi.
sorry, I can't switch on my TV, sorry, my video, because I'm eating. I'm so sorry. I just want to know, Maz, I just want to ask you this question to help me in my next contest. In the previous contest, I came second in the district. So I was wondering, thank you. I was wondering, what is that X factor in your speech? Should be there so that nobody can beat you or nobody can bypass you.
Well, thank you so much, Jayati. You guys have really amazing questions tonight, yeah? And I'm liking this. I'm liking this. So allow me to share that. So Jayati is saying that if we want to go in a contest, what is the X factor that can guarantee you a win, right? First of all, I would like to say that there's no special things that could guarantee a win. Sometimes you may have the best speech ever, but when you walk into the room, for some reason, someone else has the best speech ever as well, and that beats you, correct? And if you were to use that speech next year, suddenly you go all the way up. You will never know. So it really depends on who the contestants are and also how they or you have the work to outwork them, right? But that being said, there is also some elements that we could use to make sure that we at least have a strong footing when we enter the contest. One of that is actually the unveil moment in your speech. Yeah, UNVEIL, unveil. And this is actually spoken by past world champion Manoj Vasudevan. Yeah, he is the Singapore world champion. So he put in his book, he said that one of the key factors that makes people remember it is the unveil. And unveil simply means that you reveal information, the message, the key points in a way that is unique, in a way that is different from how people would normally deliver a message. For example, in Manoj's final speech, right, when he became the world champion, his speech was about Cupid falling in love and mending relationships. So he could have just said that, ladies and gentlemen, we need to mend our relationships. And how do we do that? We both need to compromise. Okay, sure, compromise, right? Simple message. But he made an unveil factor by saying our relationship is just like the bow, right? And just like how the mighty bow bends when the string pulls, you know, we need to bend as well. So ego is what bends and pulls the string. And so we need to bend when it comes to our relationships as well. So when you bend, and when she bends, you bend. When you bend, she bends. So in that moment, you start to realize that, wow, a simple message like that delivered in an unveiling manner, you start to remember the speech better. So to have that X factor, think about your message and think about how you can make it interesting to be delivered as compared to just telling the message as is. Does that answer your question, Jati?
Oh, that was super awesome. Thank you so much, Maz.
You're
And
welcome.
Umar, hi. I forgot to say hi to you.
Thank you very much for that, Toastmaster Jayati. Yes, we've seen quite a few questions already. Oh, yes, I think Toastmaster Nadia has gone to the chat to say that it answered his question. Well, Toastmaster Mas, you should know that I had the same exact question on my list of questions as well. My question was, there are so many incredible speakers, what separates them from each other, right? So it's a very, very good question from Toastmaster Jayati. And now that we've given the audience enough time, we're going to go back to the Q&A moderators in today's meeting, Toastmaster Veera Manohar. I'd like to call on, before I call on distinguished Toastmaster Veera, I'd like to call on distinguished Toastmaster Annadatta because he was the first one I introduced.
No, go ahead with Veera.
All right, then sure. Distinguished Toastmaster Veera Manohar, over to you.
Mas Mahathir, you definitely unveiled my mind. I was really curious to know what is the X factor, and now I know. thanks to Jayati who asked the question that was really in my mind. Then the question that I would like to ask you is, what is the motto or quotation that you live by? Please share it with us.
Ooh, thank you, Vira. When you said that, there was one that really screams out to my face immediately. This is a quote by Rob Brown, and he says, "If you can speak, you can influence. And if you can influence, you can change lives." Now, why does this quote really screams out to me is because growing up, I'm a very quiet child. I refuse to speak up a lot. I have a very few friends, and whenever I go into social settings, I'm not someone who would voice out as much. I would sit by my corner, maybe play my own little games, and just, don't need to network, don't need to make friends. And I start to realize that this was my downfall, because as I grew up, I noticed that if I don't mix around with people, I'm not building connections with people, and it dampens my self-esteem because I'm not mixing with people, I'm not getting around with people. And that took a change when I was in university, where suddenly something just snapped in me and I said that I need to change. And so I started speaking up more. I started talking more, communicating more. And just like that, it actually helped me to find my confidence. So why this quote again is because we all have a voice, and our voice carries a story, and that story can inspire someone somewhere out there because they need to hear it. If we choose to keep it, our story, our message will be buried with it. So you have the power to change lives. So use the voice to do that. Thank you, Vera.
Okay, powerful quotation, Mas, and really hear your voice. And you touch my eye, and I hope to get my voice out. Thank you. Over to you, Adarsh.
Distinguished Toastmaster Veera Manoharan, thank you for that. Now let's move to Distinguished Toastmaster Anudatta to his question.
Thank you, Adarsh. You can call me Murli Manohar rather than adding DTM, because in front of Mas Mahathir, I'm Murli Manohar. Great. Mas, I have two questions. One is, what made you, or rather, who was that WCPS winner who made you to come into this contest? That's first. Second thing is, who was how you feel that a coach is necessary if you want to reach the pinnacle? Over to you.
Wow, great question. All right, so the first question is, who was the WCPS champion, World Championship speaker who inspired me to join the contest, right? And the second question is a coach necessary to get there? Now, the first question is who? Well, to answer that question, it wasn't a world champion that inspired me. It was my local champion that inspired me. His name is Sim Boksan. I think Vera might know him. So Sim Boksan, he has been my mentor for a very long time. And I still remember in 2016, as a new Toastmaster, I was sitting in the room in the district contest. Everyone was speaking, but only him. He was the only one that caught my attention and my heart, especially feeling the emotions from his speech. And I told myself that one day I want to be a speaker like him. So a year later, I decided to ask him. I said, "Hello, Sim, would you like to be my mentor?" And he was nice enough. He said yes. And ever since 2018, he was with me all the way until today. He's still helping me with my speeches. And I'm really, really thankful for Sim Boksan for doing that. So sometimes you may not need to see someone who made it all the way as the world champion to inspire you. Look around. The people in your club, the people in your district, division, area, there will be someone who will give you the extra boost and the willingness to help you to get there. So that's the first question. The second question, is a coach necessary? All right. Now, this one, my personal answer is yes. A coach is very much necessary. Now, don't get me wrong. I have a mentor. I also have a coach. My mentor is Sim. My coach is past world champions as well. I have been coached by a few of them. And my mentor is like someone who has my back. You know, he is always the supporter and the person who's the anchor, who gives me the direction whenever I feel lost. So my mentor guides me there. A coach's job is to stack on the skills that you have and to find ways to make your speech into a diamond. So it is very important because the coach has walked the treacherous path. The coach knows which path is poisonous and you will fall down, and the coach knows which path will take you to the road of success. So if you don't have a coach, that's fine. But you will speed up your learning curve if you were to engage a coach. Yeah, so that's my recommendation.
You have completed level 2, project 3, introduction to mentors and coach. Over to you, Adarsh.
Thank you for that, Toastmaster. Distinguished Toastmaster Murli, I think I cannot quite stop saying those words. I think I've gotten so used to it at this point.
Adarsh, 1 second now, 1 second. Please, Adarsh, 1 second.
Yes,
Mas,
Toastmaster Shanti, I can hear you.
please be
Yes.
my mentor. Mas, please be my mentor. Please.
Wow, I like how she's ready and she just wants to go all out. Thank you so much, Jati, and I think your dedication really shows. Yeah. Now, I like to mentor people. I do. The only downside is because I plan to compete again, then it's not so nice, you know, because you're going in and you're competing with your mentee. That would be the problem. So I am actually planning to compete next year, and I'm just hoping that by next year, everything is over and done. Then mentoring is an option for me. I hope you can understand that because I don't want to fight.
Okay, but you can still take it up, you know, because for me to reach your level, it's going to take some time. Thank you.
Can we all be there on camera and take a picture with our champions all around the world? Everyone, open up your cameras and take a... Are you ready? Yep. Everyone, just open up and just give a thumbs up sign. Okay, smile. One more for good luck. Thank you so much. Yes, you can go ahead. Anybody has any more questions? Timer, do we have time?
You can
Adarsh.
go up to 6:15.
Yes,
Adarsh, can I go ahead with a question?
Yes.
Yes, you can go ahead.
Mas, is winning a curse or a pleasure?
Is winning a curse or a pleasure?
Because you cannot be a normal if you win, because you will be under pressure, you become a stardom, you get the stardom, and does it take you to your head? That's what I meant.
Does it take you to your head? Yeah. Okay, that's a good question as well. Now, coming from a place of contesting, right? I have lost numerous contests when I was starting out. In fact, I've only managed to win my first district win after being in Toastmasters for 3 years. Then I managed to win my district wins. And before that, I was contesting in many other contests as well, which is the international speech, tabletop days, etc. And I've lost a lot of them. And I do feel the demotivation from that. But I would say that winning definitely is a pleasurable feeling. It's something that, you know you worked hard and you deserve that win. However, it can be a negative impact if you have won all the way and you've never tasted failure. If you have tasted failure, I'm sure you know how to humble yourself to know where, you don't draw the line like, I am already the best, nobody's going to beat me. Even at this juncture, I know it is stressful to compete again. But I take the words of one past world number 2. He said this before. He said that, your speech may be good now, but it may not be next year, right? And when he competed the year before he was world number 2, the next year he lost in the club level. Club level, from world number 2, lost in the club. But he said that didn't motivate him because he knows that sometimes the past achievements does not fully define who you are. It is the message and the speech that you have right now that defines who you are. So yes, if you've never lost before and you've been on a winning streak all time, right, then it could be a curse. But if you have tasted failure, I'm sure you know how to humble yourself. Thank you so much, Ananda.
Thank you to you.
Now,
If you can
thank you
give
very much.
questions to Nazneen.
Yes, over to you, Naz.
Anybody else has questions?
I
I
see
can
Umar
see
Farooq
Umar
has got a
Farooq
question.
raised his
Yes.
hand.
Yes, you can go ahead, DTM Umar Farooq. Yes. You can
This
unmute.
Mas just wanted to ask another question about what is your advice, to have one story and build on it and have a conclusion, or have multiple stories and go with it? What is your advice? And also the power of humor, sprinkling of humor. I always believe that at least 30 to 40% of your speech should be humorous or maybe funny kind of a thing. So do you think it's the importance of humor, what it is? Mas, over to you.
Okay, so the first question is it better to have a one story speech or a multiple story speech before getting to the message? And the second one is humor important in your speech? Okay, so let's start with question number 2 since it's easier to answer. Humor is important, but it is not vital to win a contest. Let me give you an example. In 2020, the first time that Toastmasters did the online contest, the world number 2, Linda Marie Miller, and I had the honor to share the same stage with her last year, her speech had zero humor. Zero. It was so deep and so saddening yet impactful. So people sometimes, they sit in the room, they have many reasons to be there. They want to be entertained, they want to be educated, they want to be inspired. So if you touch on either one of them, definitely you will land on having a strong speech as well. But of course, that being said, if you can sprinkle humor, do that, because humor makes people feel good. And when people feel good, they also react better to your speeches. So yes, humor is important, but not a key vital point. Now, the first question is one story approach or multiple story approach? Personally, for me, I love a one story approach, because this allows us to walk into the life, the story of the person, to see what's happening, to hear what's happening, to experience what's happening. 2019, Aaron Beverly's speech about going to India and, fighting over the shoes, right? We can see that he's in that wedding. We can feel what's happening. We can hear what's happening there. Why? Because he went with just one story and dived deep into the nitty-gritty details. And that is very powerful of having one story speech. We can emotionally invest in it. Multiple stories, on the other hand, doesn't mean it's bad as well, but it may take away the impact of each story because you can't go deep in that. But I understand sometimes you need to have multiple stories to plug in so that people understand where the message is going, because you have multiple instances instead of just one that happens to you, right? That leads to your message. So my takeaway is this: find which is the best approach for you, whether it is a one-story approach or multiple story approach. But of course, if you can, go deep. Yeah? Thank you, Umar.
Yes, the example is Ramona. Ramona's speech was, I think, multiple stories, but she won also. Which is a good example.
That's right.
Okay, we'll take the last person, Meena M. I can see the hand raised. And anybody has any questions, just post the group. Others will collate it and we will share it with Mas Mahathir, and definitely he will reply to us and we'll share it on our guest group. Yes, Meena.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nazneen. Hello, Mas. I have 2 questions for you. While you're preparing your speech, while you're practicing, how do you break the mundaneness or the stress factor while you're practicing? And second, just before you get on the stage, how do you break the nervous factor that kicks in to be comfortable on the stage? These 2 questions for you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mina. Wow, I love the questions because it's so relatable to me. The first question is about how do you deal with the mundaneness of the speech? And the second question is right before going up to the contest stage, how do you deal with the nervousness, right? Okay, so let's start off with the first one, dealing with mundaneness. I have to be very honest. When I did my speech, I have the feeling of I'm so sick of this. I've been speaking on this for many times. I'm saying the same thing, doing the same thing all over again. And then whenever I go to clubs to practice, there is always that feeling like, oh God, again. But to overcome that, I found two ways that really helped me with this. Number one, the first way is how can I find something new from the audience today that could supplement or enhance my speech? So I'm trying to shift my focus from this is what I have to do versus what else can I do to grow? So that was the first one. When I did that, I saw it as a challenge to improve. The second way is the message again, because this will be different people, different sets of audiences, and I want to see how they react and how they receive the message. And if I see them nodding their heads, I know that this is a message that touched their hearts. So this is a two challenge that I set for myself to break that mundaneness of rehearsing the speech for the sake of rehearsing the speech. Now, in regards to question number two, how do you deal with nervousness before going on a big stage? This one, I will have to be very honest as well. I still feel nervous, and that feeling of nervousness will never go away. I remember in Nashville last year, right before going up to speak, we have to wait behind the stage. They put all the devices on you and you're just waiting for that first speaker to get off the stage and it's your turn to go in. It is nerve-wracking. You're just waiting there, just like pacing back and forth, thinking like, oh my gosh, right? But I remember the wise words from Mike Carr. I met Mike Carr. He's the 2020 world champion. He was there as well. So before I went up, he came to me and said that, Mahathir, remember that you have a message that could change someone's life. Focus on that. And that helped me to ease that nervousness a bit. But if we were to understand nervousness in detail, I think all of us can benefit from this, is that nervousness is an ally, not an enemy that requires defeating. Yeah, nervousness is an ally, not an enemy that requires defeating, because psychologists have found that people who have a tinge of nervousness, they outperform people who are overconfident. Because people who are overconfident, guess what? They don't take in the time to practice, to work, to improve themselves. They just wing it. So we having that nervousness is an ally to support us, to push us, to know that we need to do better. Yeah, so I hope that answers your question, Mina.
Thank you very much. It answers.
Thank you.
Thank you
We
very
have
much.
a big
Toastmaster.
round of applause for Mas Mahathir and all the guests and participants. You can unmute and clap loudly.
Thank you, Mas.
Thank you
I
so
am
much.
speechless. But at Toastmasters, I can't keep quiet. I have to speak. I'm sure that all the audience and the panelists are spellbound by the magic that was sprinkled over Mas Mahathir. I'm taking the liberty to call you Mas Mahathir and not just DTM, because you're more than a DTM, I would say. And we have got so many DTMs because they are all dear Toastmasters, more than distinguished Toastmasters. Thank you all. And as a token of appreciation from Speech Weavers, we would like to present certificate of appreciation to DTM Mas Mathir. Richa, can you share the screen certificate, please?
Sure.
And this will be shared with you personally, definitely for sure. Just share it on the screen, please. Share your screen with the certificate. Yeah.
Wow, thank you so much. This looks great.
Thank you so much. Now, I would like to thank our panelists, DTM Veeraman. Richard, can you share the certificate, please? Sure. Thank you so much. And now I would like to thank my fellow, what do you say, at the score, DTM Anantamurli Manohar. Richard, kindly please share the certificate.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And now for our event chair, who took us to our journey like a thread. He just weaved the story around the whole meeting. That is our event chair, Adarsh Krishna. Thank you, Adarsh. I would now request Joseph sir
Good evening, the Honorable Chief Guest and respected guests of honor from all over the world. And my dear Toastmasters, and with a special reference to my area director. I'm Joseph Felix Benedict, immediate past president. I feel honored to propose a vote of thanks on behalf of Speech Weavers Club and on my own behalf. What an outstanding event of the question and answers today. It is so wonderful and a lot of wisdom. For this, I have waited 6 months. Mas will know that I asked him in the month of January and he came in the month of July. It is not a complaint. It is the champions' busyness all around the globe preaching this wisdom to the clubs. And you see, we have to wait 7 months. Kudos to you, Mas. You are a great, great person in this Toastmasters. Mas Mahathir, guest of honor, for sparing your valuable time for us and gracing this occasion. Your thoughts motivated all of us. We are all for your valuable presence and guidance. I would like to express deep sense of gratitude to DTM Veeraman Manoharan and DTM Anantamurli Manoharan as given us the support in question and answer session by putting a wonderful question which contains more of wisdom than just a question itself. I would like to thank all Toastmasters who have attended this session and particularly taking in the relevant roles, the Toastmasters, and also all those from the audience who have given a wonderful time in attending this session and also asking questions with the champion and got their answers take away to the satisfaction of each and every one of you. I would like to thank Madam President for her desire to invite Mas Mahathir to make this open house session a great success. Thanks one and all, and I would like to take your leave with a feeling of happiness and gratitude. Over to you, Madam President, Toastmaster Nazneen.
Thank you so much, Joseph sir, for those kind words and word of thanks. I would invite our area director to speak, give us a feedback. This is the
Thank
first
you.
meeting at our club. Yes.
Yes, thank you very much, Toastmaster Nazim, and good evening to the speech weavers and all other guests over here. And special thanks to DTM Mas Mahathir as well. This is my first meeting in this club as an area director, and I must say I'm already regretting that I have missed already 2 meetings in my stint in this stint for attending this club meeting. So I first of all, I would like to thank and appreciate the effort of the XCOM team who has, I could see that every week, each and every week, I could see the effort that this team has been giving out for the club with inviting the members from all over the world so that the members of the club can learn something from each and every meeting. So yes, I'm so happy. And in fact, I'm just so excited to see what's next that this club has for its members. With that, a gentle reminder as an area director is for all the members to use avail the cost benefit for renewing in the Toastmasters. Like as you know, by 31st of July, the cost benefit will be like there is a price hike. And instead of paying $45, you need to pay $60 for the next renewal term. So I would request all the members to avail the cost benefit, and you can pay the extra $15 for some charity or for yourself as well. And number 2, I would urge all the members to enroll on the pathways and move ahead in your education program, right? Because as DTM Mas has mentioned today, practice is very important. Even for one speech which he have delivered over here, it took around 2 years for him to do it. So it's all that need is practice, practice, practice. So I would urge all the members of this club to move ahead in their education program. With that, over to Madam President.
Thank you so much for those kind words of encouragement and your feedback.
Nazneen, can you just announce the next week program?
Yes. I would definitely, next week, we are going to be having a session where from SCOA, that is the Smedley Chapter 1 Advanced at California, Patricia App, I'm sure all of you from Malaysia know her very well. She has completed 11 parts. All the parts she's completed, and she will be presenting. She'll be the keynote speaker. So we are getting her all the way from California to in District 92, Division B, Area B1. So be there and to witness how she accomplished. I'm sure Veeramanu sir, everyone, all of you must be knowing Patricia, because Patricia, the adrenaline rush that she's got, it is just so contagious, even you will start jumping. Yes? Yes or yes?
Yes.
And hope to meet you all next week. And now I would like to thank each one of you that you have taken out your time, your precious time on a Friday evening to attend. All thanks to the dearest Toastmasters that we have had in our session. Thank you, DTM Mas Mahathir, DTM Veeramanu sir, DTM Ananta Munda Manohar sir, and all the guests from all around the world that who have attended, and our area director. And special thanks to my ExCom, because without, as they say, one person cannot do everything. It is a team effort. Our ExCom has proved that, yes, we can do it. Mas Mahathir, these were the words of Barack Obama. Yes, we can do it. When the critics criticize you, he said, yes, we can do it. And Speech Weavers also believes in the same thought, yes, we can do it. Thank you. And the floor is open for networking. Thank you all.